one. On this week's show, it's time to choose your side. It's time for Marvel Battlegrounds. All this and more in episode 128 of the Inside Infinity podcast.
All right, everybody, and welcome to episode 128 of the Inside Infinity podcast. As always, I'm your lovely, attractive host, Will Kelly. Oh, wait, no, I'm not Will today. I'm Lloyd Hannison. We booted Will, is what we did. We're doing a Marvel takeover, right, guys?
Yep. That's right.
It's 2/3 of Getting Up with Geeks.
It is. We need Steph.
We're having technical difficulties here, folks, and that's not the reason why Will isn't here. Will's actually behind the scenes. He's in a bit of a timeout. He has to go play some video games and control the ones and twos while we do the fun that is the podcast. So we thought we'd get everybody together. Most of Getting Up with the Geeks from the Res.TV network. We have James. James, how's it going?
It's going pretty well over here.
Awesome. Nice to have you. And also joining us is Lem Filia, the Bad Gamer.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
How was that? Did I do that well, Lem?
Yeah, that was good. Go up at the end.
Bad Gamer, like that.
See, for you, that's how I would love for you to say it. I can't say it that way.
Again, and of course, myself, Lloyd Hannison. I'm the usual co-host here for Inside Infinity, and we thought in celebration of the Marvel Battlegrounds playset, that we get some Marvel heads, some comic readers, some people that love the source material. Not that Will doesn't, but we get some Marvel fans to come out and talk about Battlegrounds and do all the other stuff. So what do you say, guys? You want to get? Oh, wrong one. Close. That was close. That's close.
Not wrong game. Wrong universe.
Wrong universe. And as always, like our fearless leader Will does, we want to give a nice shout out to the chat room. So we have Art4MM, Blue Blur, Captain Disney, Dopey Ducks, Dragon Skull, welcome, Filtered Reality, Gav Infinity, a German bold italic, the best username on anything in the internet. We have some guy named iHeartInfinity James. I don't know.
He's a jerk.
Oh yeah, watch out for that guy. We have Tad Infinifan, we have Infinite Carry, Kingdom Keeper Parker, Napanosian. I still don't know how to say that name, and it's terrible every time I try to. Cubele, Refidex1, Taylor Lynn, and Z2K2. I said Z2 because I am Canadian, and I'm also Canadian, so I had to read everybody's name, unlike Will, who picks and chooses. Picks and chooses would be the better way to do it. So, so I can see Will's camera and you guys can't. So you do all sorts of nasty things to us when we do that. All right, guys. So, what do you say we jump right into the news and then we can get into the Battlegrounds stuff?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Well, right off the bat, you find folks at home, if you don't know what Battlegrounds is, or if you do know what Battlegrounds is, and you maybe want Battlegrounds to yourself, but you don't want to go buy it yourself, we can help you out there. We are giving away a copy of Marvel Battlegrounds. That is going to be
right here.
That copy right there. Lem has it. He can even autograph it for you, which would ruin the resale value. But if you want to, you can do that.
All right.
He can even fake mine and Will's signature if you guys want. But if you want to win this, and it will be sent to you so you can play it yourself, head on over to res.tv/contest. That'll take you over to our little social contest board, and you can do some things. Sign up on or follow us on Twitch, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter. Easy things. You're probably already doing it anyway. But you get a series of entries into the contests, and then 13 days remaining, Will, on the contest? Yeah, so in 13 days, we'll be choosing a winner, and that person will be getting a nice, new, slightly lemified copy of Marvel
I'm totally going to lemify it up. I'm going to do something. I don't know what. You might have to get something extra from
Okay.
From
Remember, Lem, no lawsuits. We talked about this.
There are things.
We'll do something. Getting up with geeks with it. We'll throw something in there.
Perfect. That sounds awesome.
Depending on when you ship it out, we might be able to sign it too. So.
Oh yeah.
Nice, awesome. Well, that's going to be going out to one lucky fan. So go forth and follow us, and hopefully we'll send you a copy in the coming weeks. All right, cool. Let's move on. Let's get into some Disney Infinity news. This one is really interesting. I was just checking this out last night, and I was like, no one's reported on this. And then I woke up this morning to see a news article over at Infinity Inquirer. And basically, that is that in the Hall of Heroes, there's a new section where you can find Baloo. So if you bought the Baloo figure and you put him down and you've leveled him up a little bit, you go to the Hall of Heroes and you have to go to a new section to see him. When you go over there, he's right at the back of this new section, and there are 13 potential spots where other figures can be, which is quite interesting. So I don't know, James, what do you think about that? Do you think we're going to be getting 13 new Marvel figures, or do you think it's just for future expansion?
Well, the fact that it's in the Disney section of it, though, suggests we'll be looking at some Disney characters. We already have some ones unconfirmed, but rumors like the Finding Dory and the Alice in Wonderland figures. That should be at least 5 between those, and then Peter Pan's another one, so that's 6.
Yeah,
that still leaves like 6-7 spots though, so who knows.
Yeah, like we know that we're going to be getting a Disney, a Pixar, and a Marvel, and a Star Wars playset. They said at least one, so maybe there could be more than one. I think it's pretty interesting that just the fact that there is a Hall of Heroes kind of makes us look at, there's some extra space. I don't know, Lem, what are your thoughts? Do you think this is foreshadowing, or just they wanted it to be symmetrical?
No, I think that we're going to get some. I mean, look at what we got last gen. We got quite a few of the Disney just for singles, for the toy box guys, and I think we can expect some more.
I agree.
Other than what we know now, but with Dory and we know Peter Pan, but
sure. And you have the Mona movie, or Moana.
Moana.
I say Mona, which I know is wrong. But that's how I always said it. Like there's going to be figures there, and there's, who knows, like maybe like we've always wanted, say, a Darkwing Duck or DuckTales or something like that. That gives us the potential in the future. I'm really hopeful that we get some of the called out bits, and those will come out as well, because that would be really, really darn cool. So yeah, good things coming in the future to Disney Infinity. At least on the Disney side. All right, cool. We got the leaked announcement that Kylo Ren was going to be coming out, and we now have an official announcement. So it is officially official. It's coming out on April 5th, and you can pre-order at GameStop, although from what I'm hearing, it's going to be made available in more than just GameSpot or GameStop. So I don't know, Lem, Kylo Ren with a glowing lightsaber, how many are you buying?
None. I already have Kylo Ren. I'm not that collector. If I have the character and there's nothing special or different about him, I'm probably not going to get it.
His lightsaber glows. That is fully special, Lem. Just got to point that out.
Okay, in game. Let me rephrase that. In game.
Fair enough.
When I do my photos of him, I don't want to take him apart to make it glow. So I have to have the base plugged in and make it glow, and then I have to figure out how to make the base awesome, and I'm not that guy, so I have to do it in Photoshop. I'll make it glow in Photoshop with the regular one. I'm not buying another one.
Fair enough. I don't know, what about you, James? Are you going to be picking this up? Are you surprised that it is going to be more I don't know, a more global or more than one place release?
No, I don't think that's too much of a surprise, because I think Disney caught some backlash for having the original ones all be exclusive to a single reseller. And there's certain companies, for whatever reason, people have aversions to buying from, everyone's got their own preferences and they don't like having to go to those places.
Sure.
That said, I will pick it up, but I'm not going to pick it up when it comes out. I'm going to wait for it to go on sale because I don't know about up in Canada, but in my area, all of the light effects figures are still very easy to find. So I'm not worried about problems. Yeah.
Up here in Canada, it is totally the other way. I have 3 light effects characters, and I see lots of those 3 characters around. I have Darth Vader, I have Luke, and I have Anakin. I haven't seen any of the other ones. They just haven't. Either they were in store and sold out, or they just were never made available up here. I'm not sure, and I'm still kind of waiting because I'm one of those collectors that has to have all the things. I have all the crystal characters for no reason other than it's another character to buy and put on a shelf. I do want all the light effects ones. I will most definitely be picking up Kylo Ren when it comes out, and hopefully this being made available in more areas, rumored or potential, that all the other ones might get a global or a more general release to other places, to basically help me find my stuff up here in Canada because I'm selfish.
We actually directly tweeted JV and asked him if this was going to be an exclusive, and he replied no. So I think that's a pretty good indication we'll see it at other places too.
Yeah, exactly. So, wow, some major feedback from Will's mic. So I don't know. He says sorry. He's mouthing sorry. You can't hear him. So sorry if that hurts your ears, everybody. Let's move on. Let's get into our next story, which is the pre-Battleground patch notes. Battleground is here, but Disney did put out their patch notes that they put out on infinity.disney. So we got some interesting things here. It talks about the new Marvel Battlegrounds playset. And it says the brand new Marvel Battlegrounds playset can now be accessed when the playset piece is put down on the base. It includes rebalanced movesets for Disney Infinity 2.0 edition figures, and the Marvel superheroes characters are also the Marvel superheroes characters inside the Battlegrounds playset. And then it added the feats as well. They talked about new characters that will be coming out in this patch. So we have Captain America, obviously, First Avenger, that comes with the playset, Ant-Man, Black Panther, and Vision. And it says these following figures can now be used in Toy Box 3.0. Judy Hopps, Nick Wilde, and Baloo. Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde were already in the game before this patch, so that was kind of weird for that to be put on in the patch notes, but maybe it's just another way for them to advertise that, yes, indeed, these characters have come out. Please go buy them. The one interesting thing in these patch notes that I'm happy to see, I haven't played with it yet, is that they've made some changes to Flynn's Arcade. Ever since launch, there's been some issues with Flynn's Arcade. I know early on it was corrupting save games and locking up people's consoles. It's gotten better since then. That was maybe just the load, the number of people that were trying to hit it. But now inside of Flynn's Arcade, there's a local multiplayer option. So you can open a toy box cabinet in split screen mode, which is going to be great. So if you're looking for a 4-player toy box, you only have to wait for potentially you and one other person. If they both are doing the split screen multiplayer, it'll help you get into matches a little bit sooner. New feature that will match a player with a random toy box cabinet where other players are already waiting to join. So more of a kind of like a little matchmaking hopper thing like you'd see in a first-person shooter where they have various different game types and game maps. It'll fill people in if that's your choice. And you can now even replay a game from within a toy box cabinet instead of being you complete it and then you're booted back up to the menu or to Flynn's Arcade and you have to go back in. So I don't know, Daniel or Lem, have either of you played with Flynn's Arcade? And if you haven't, will this make you more likely to do so? If only to get the trophies / achievements.
Well, first we got to find Daniel.
Yeah, I don't know any Daniel.
Did I say
Yeah, you
just
did.
for Lem? I said I'm not going to say Daniel. Oh, James. Sorry, James.
Jimbo, you go first.
I've never actually been into Flynn's Arcade because when the game first came out and the reports of corrupted saves were coming out, I was like, not touching this, not risking this at all. And then since then, I actually forgot it existed. So I haven't been in it at all. I haven't been in since the patch. I haven't been in before the patch, so I've got no comments on it.
No comments on that.
Yeah, I probably will hit it up. I'll probably hit it up. I tried before and it would just lag out. So I'll probably try doing it again.
I will try it. I just haven't yet. Maybe we should see if we can arrange to meet up in there and get our butts kicked by some randoms.
Yeah, by some 8-year-old.
That would be really
Probably.
cool. I early on, I think this might even have been the day before release or the morning of release, so there wasn't very many people on the server. I wanted to get the platinum trophy because I'm one of those players. I'm one of those folks that plays video games. And so I spent probably about 4 hours trying to get my like 5 games in or whatever the trophy was. It was either 5 or 10 games. I can't remember. And it was so annoying and so buggy, but I would jump into a game, get into a game. I was doing some of it through my Vita remote play back to my PS4 just so I could be watching TV and doing other things. So crazy. So any improvement to Flynn's Arcade is a good thing in my books because it was very, very painful. And this is one of the selling features early on for Disney Infinity. They're like, yeah, we're going to have an arcade. You can get in. If you don't have friends at home that are over at that particular point, you can jump in and play some multiplayer. It's good that they're basically getting right back in and making that work. I'm really, really excited to check that out. All right, other things in the patch notes that are kind of interesting but not super interesting: improved toy box, memory improvements, things like that. Improvements to saving, improvement to saving your progression when you're in a playset. So maybe you don't, if the game crashes, you don't lose so much progression. Improve game performance across all playsets. So they've done some engine cleanup, which is really great, and they've improved the network multiplayer code and other bug fixes. So a pretty big patch. We've received a few patches, not a lot of really large patches. So it's really good to see one of these come out that isn't just, hey, here's new content you can buy, we have to add it into the game. They've gone back and changed some pretty fundamental things about the multiplayer experience, which is pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. All right, well, let's move on, folks. Who here plays Disney Infinity on their mobile phone or maybe their Apple TV or their PC? James, aka Daniel, or Lem, do you guys do that much at all?
I did on my mobile. I don't anymore, but I did. When I tried to do. What's that?
You were Mr. Farming for a while there on your phone.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I did. And then I decided, I'm going to try to make some toy boxes specifically for mobile. And then I remembered I don't build toy boxes.
That's not true. You build toy boxes twice a week in 10 minutes.
Yes, I don't. Let me rephrase that. I don't build good toy boxes.
That's the caveat there. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I play mainly on my PlayStation 4, so this doesn't affect me that much. But ever since Battlegrounds came out, the patch for all the new content, the new power discs, Baloo, the new Marvel figures, there's been some questions in the game forums, on Twitter, et cetera, on Facebook. People are asking, well, when can we play Battlegrounds on PC, on the Apple TV, on our mobile phones, stuff like that. We don't really have a good answer for you right now, but the only information that we've received from Disney through their official Twitter account, some gentleman named John Mayer said, has PC support been dropped for all new playsets/figures? And Disney Infinity replied, at this time, the new content will only be available on console. We will certainly make the community aware if that changes. So lots of heat over the last few days that I've been seeing on Twitter. A lot of people are upset about this, mainly the PC people. I don't think there's too many Apple TV owners out there that are maybe so upset about this, but can you imagine if this is the only place that you play Disney Infinity and then you go buy this new playset and it doesn't work? It would be a really tough thing for people to swallow because the box doesn't say that it only supports consoles. So I don't know. How do you guys feel about this? Do you think this is just we couldn't get it ready in time for launch, we're going to be doing it later? Or do you think this is really something they're just going to focus on consoles?
Well, As a PC player, I actually do almost all my videos on PC. I think a lot of it has to do with how poorly the PC version was received when they launched it. Because I don't know if you remember it, but when they launched it on Steam, they got so much negative backlash for all the DLC that was in it. And they didn't explain how the DLC worked. And I think that ever since then, the perception for PC has been very poor, so people haven't been playing it, and so they're not going to support it if no one's spending money on it.
Exactly. Kingdom Keeper Parker in the chat room says, didn't they say that the Apple TV was a console version? And yeah, they kind of did. They came on stage at the Apple press announcement announcing the new Apple TV, and they said, yep, we're bringing the console experience to your Apple TV. Maybe there just isn't the user base. Maybe this thing's sold poorly. Like, we don't know sales numbers. So maybe that's the reason. I don't know.
The box actually says on it here, it says Disney Infinity 3.0 edition, video game and base required for use. So
that would be the PC and the mobile.
Right.
But the Apple TV comes with that really sweet black Bluetooth base that I want to use on my PlayStation 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was checking out here. And it says up to 4 gigabytes of storage required. So that could still be your Apple TV.
Sorry, we're getting some major feedback from one of the something here.
Blame Will.
I think it's Will.
Test.
We're just going to blame Will. Don't look innocent. You know,
he's rubbing his foot on the carpets and shocking his microphone right now. It's the weirdest thing. I've never seen anybody do that before. But
well, if you would put your shirt back on, Will.
Oh, please. All right. So yeah, it is kind of terrible. I'm curious how many people this is really going to affect. Hopefully Disney will come out and release a press release either way, whether it's good news or bad news, just because there is a lot of unknown. I have seen tweets where people are like, oh, I only play on the Apple TV. Are you saying that I can't use this new playset that I just received from Amazon? Should I return it? There's been a lot of stuff like that. So I hope that if the community can't assist how we have been, that Disney themselves will come out and issue just something on their FAQs on their website or something, so that we know basically what's happening.
That's always been a problem with Disney's communication, is we don't know what's going on. This isn't the first time we've had issues where we're like, hey guys, is this supposed to work? Is this not working? Are you dropping support for this? And then just kind of radio silence until enough people tweet at them and they're just like, oh, we have to say something.
Yeah. And it's that happens with big corporations. They have teams of lawyers that have to vet every press release and stuff that come out. So I understand the slowness, but I hope we do get something in the near future, because this has been on store shelves for a couple days now, and it would be good for people to, or for Disney at least, to say, hey, the website has been updated to show the platforms we support. So at least there's some official place where they can point people to. Would be a nice thing.
What I find really weird about this is actually, if you bought tickets to Zootopia on Fandango, you got a free code for one of the Zootopia Power Discs to use in the PC or mobile version. But then you can't use it. It's not in the PC version, at least. It might be in mobile, I don't know, but it's not in PC at all. So.
Oh, really? Zootopia wasn't on the disc, so it's the PC version.
No, I've got no. I couldn't use Judy Hopps. I couldn't use Nick Wilde on either of those. And actually, that was the first video content I'd done on PS4 since the PC version came out, because I couldn't do it on PC.
Huh. You know, now that you mentioned that, I tried to, when I was on my phone the other day, I had some cards that I forgot to enter in. Because I like, when I go to my screen on DisneyInfinity.com or whatever, I like to see all the characters that I've got. So I enter in the codes. Well, I was on my phone trying to enter it in, and it said, this code has already been entered. And I haven't looked to see if the characters are actually there because I put them on the base.
I think it's Ted.
Sorry, everybody. I pulled my mic to see if it was me, but it was still happening when my mic was disconnected, and now I can't plug my mic into my USB port because I apparently have the dexterity of a small child. All right, there we are. So
back.
There you are.
Yeah, that's really, really, really.
I haven't looked. I'm gonna have to take a look at that real quick here.
Yeah, it's really odd. I don't know, Will, do you wanna take a break and then maybe splice the video together if we can solve this audio problem, or do you want to just soldier on? Soldier on, okay. Well, let's jump right into our Marvel Battlegrounds discussion. We'll do a quick overview of the set, what it is, and maybe give our thoughts on all of it. So for the folks that don't know, Marvel Battlegrounds is available as a playset that comes with one figure, Civil War Captain America. So Captain America without his mask, looking all handsome like he does in the movie. And it comes with a playset piece that you drop on your portal to basically give you the access to Battlegrounds as a playset that you jump into. But the thing that's different with Battlegrounds is it's not a standard playset. It's not a narrative driven thing where you basically jump into, play through a story, unlock a bunch of side quests, et cetera, et cetera. Battlegrounds is a multiplayer brawler. We talked about it a lot on the show, so you probably know this, but just in case someone is new. So it's similar to old fighting games like Power Stone, Super Smash Brothers, where it's a multiplayer arena brawler. That where you're able to bring every single Marvel character into the game. So that's kind of the small introduction to it. I don't know. Do you guys want to maybe go over some of the features, or do you want to maybe give your thoughts, James, first on what you think? Have you played a lot of the Battlegrounds?
Well, I've played through the entire story mode, which isn't actually a lot of the content. And then I've played the challenges. I've played about half the challenges, which is half the characters. And that is a decent amount of the content. Even they're only a couple minutes each, but it adds up. I don't know. The story mode, for what little there is of it, is actually fun. I just wish there was more.
Yeah, I'm the same way. How about you, Lem? You played, you streamed it right after you got it.
I played the story for our stream, and it was if I can play it for a stream, because everybody knows I don't stream more than an hour. That's just what I do. And I was able to get everything set up, talk to people, and still have it all done within that hour. So it was pretty short, and I only died once. And I was on medium. I didn't go too hard or extreme or anything like that. Yeah. But it was about an hour or so. I did maybe one of the challenges. So the Battlegrounds itself, Junior played it a little bit today, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, I love it! I love it! I love it!" So I mean, it's there. You know, we have that, and he enjoyed it. And I actually, my daughter came to when I came home for lunch today. She said, "Hey, Dad, do you have XYZ program that I can put on my computer?" I said, "Oh, you can earn it." It's like, how? I was like, "You can try to beat me at Marvel Battlegrounds, and then you can have it."
How quickly did she beat you?
She did not win. But she's still getting the program because I had her play a game that she's not a fighting game person. So
right. Interesting. That's really cool. It's good to hear that. I was the same way. I picked it up and put it in, and I think I beat the story mode in like 25, 30 minutes. Like it was really short, and that's my only complaint really with Battlegrounds. And it's not even that big of a complaint because of all the challenge modes they add on it. The story mode consists of what is essentially like 4 fights. And then you get the story conclusion. It's like, oh, you saved the world, you killed the bad guy, he's in jail. And then boom, you get the image at the end that basically, we're just going to talk over the noise. Sorry, folks. You get the image at the end that says congratulations type thing. I beat it with Black Panther. So he's standing there and it gives you a little bit of text. And then you jump into the rest of story mode. So story mode is divided into 3 areas. There's the story mode, which is, again, the 4 levels. There's the challenges. So there's a series of challenges, dozens of challenges, and each of them is essentially just more arena fights. But they do different things. So you beat the first challenge, you get the subway car that you can then use in the toy box. So each of these challenges unlocks something. There's, I think, 4 lock stages, or is it 3 lock stages in the game? I think it might only be 3. Either
I think
3
it's 3, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, it's one of those. Those are locked, and you win those by playing challenges. There's also alternate costumes for every Marvel character that has a costume change disc. You can unlock the alternate costumes by playing challenges. So I went through today and I played one of those. I unlocked the alternate costume for Iron Man. I have no idea how to activate it. I thought maybe it was on the character select screen. I don't know. I hit every single button and there's no way that I could do it. Maybe it's a random thing. I don't know. But all that content is locked behind the challenges, which is kind of cool. It's going to extend your single player playthrough from 30 minutes to maybe a couple hours, which will be a meaty chunk of content. And the really interesting thing about when you're playing Battlegrounds is when you play the character, they're totally maxed out. They have access to all of their moves. So it's like you're playing a level 20 character that has every single move activated on your skill tree, which is great. But then it's like, well, I like to unlock all the stuff for my characters. How do I do that? Well, as you play the different modes, whether you're playing story mode, whether you're playing the Battlegrounds multiplayer mode, anything that you're playing, you achieve something. You get experience points and currency. You get blue sparks, and sometimes you even get play coins, which we'll get to in a second. So the third mode of the story mode is the experience gun. I don't know I can't remember what they call it. It's the experience giver thing. So you go to the third tab, and whichever character you have on the base, you can then hit up to give them experience based on the experience that you've won by playing matches. So it's a really cool way. Like I haven't played my Black Panther character in Toy Box or in any of the other modes and nothing else, but he's level 12 just because I played a lot of multiplayer and I was able to use that experience to level him up. So it's a really cool way to still get something for sitting around for 5 hours playing multiplayer battles. You at least get something that you can then use with the rest of the game. It was a really smart move on Disney's part there. The other main mode of Battlegrounds is, of course, Battlegrounds, the multiplayer mode. So it's a 4-player local multiplayer game. So you can play 4 people in the same house on the same couch, 4 controllers, depending on what system you have. I have 2 PlayStation 4 controllers and I also have my Vita that I can use remote play. So I have 3 controllers. You can do any combination, 1 to 4. And then the spots that you aren't filling with a human, with a warm body, you can have them be AI, and you can choose the AI level that you want for that character. So you can have 1v1, 1v2, 1v1v1. You can basically choose teams, do whatever. And they've made a really robust multiplayer game. They have a bunch of different modes. There's Battlegrounds, there's King of the Hill type mode where one person is super powerful and they get points by killing people. But if you kill that person, you get all their points and you become the big guy. So a lot of arena multiplayer fight modes that you've seen in things like I don't know, Smash Brothers, I guess, would be the biggest comparison, is all in this as well, which is really cool. And if none of the modes interest you, there's a custom mode at the end where you can choose the round length, the number of rounds, the number or the percentage of health that you get. So you want 150% health. The amount of power that you have, you want your matches to take less time. So you want to be everybody at 150% power, or you want them at less power because you want more time. You want to have to wail away on people more. So you can basically take this and make any sort of multiplayer fighting game that you want, which is pretty cool. It's pretty full featured for what this is essentially a power or a playset piece that you put on your game pad and then play the game. So I don't know. Overall, what are you guys' thoughts? Have you done much multiplayer at all? James, I guess we'll go with any multiplayer.
I've only played a little bit multiplayer and only solo. So I've only played against AI. I haven't played with anybody because I've got nobody here to play with. So
right.
I do enjoy it. I have a long history of playing multiplayer games by myself, so it's fun anyway. And it does remind me a lot of Power Stone, which I enjoyed a lot back in the day. So I could see getting quite a bit of time just out of the versus mode. So, but everyone's miles is going to vary. If you've got people to play it with, I could see this definitely being a very good long-term purchase. But if you don't like playing this mode solo, then maybe not.
I agree 100%. Lem, you said you've played some multiplayer. Obviously, you were just telling about the you don't get nothing unless you beat me mode that you played. Which I'm going to be adopting in my house as well. That's great. Have you played much more multiplayer other than single player you against bots?
No, not yet. I've had limited experience with that so far. But just so you know, Filtered Reality says they give us a hint here. If you highlight the character and then press the shoulder button, it'll switch to the alternate costume.
Yeah, I looked there and I didn't see any options for that. I hit every button that was on the bottom of the screen. So maybe I wasn't looking closely, or maybe it's we'll get to in a second, something that I found out by accident, I guess. We'll
L1.
L1.
Justin just checked.
Cool. I will definitely check that to see. So here in my house, I've played a fair bit of multiplayer. I've told this story a lot on various podcasts, including this one. The one biggest complaint that my kids had with Toys to Life games recently was Skylanders kind of getting rid of their favorite mode, which was the multiplayer battle arenas. They played so much of Skylanders in Skylanders Giants and Swap Force, just playing that mode like hours and hours and hours and hours. It was their favorite thing to do in the world. It kind of went away. Apparently it was in one of the games that we owned, but it was buried further in the game than I chose to go in. And then the most recent one, it's not there. In this one, I knew they would love it. So we had a huge tournament. We played about 2 hours this afternoon. And I don't think I've had that much laughter in my basement over a video game in such a long time. Ever since Back to Skylanders, when we were playing, my kids just love going at each other in video games and beating each other up. And they jump up and they dance when they win. This basically reminds me 100% of the experiences they had with Skylanders. So if you are a parent and you have kids that are competitive and they love fighting each other in various fighting games, like if they're the type of kids that play in the toy box and they run up and pick your other kid up and throw them off the cliff and then laugh for 5 minutes, this game is something that you need. It is so much fun. Like I said, they played about 2 hours this evening. I know this weekend is going to be huge for it. And I love to see how much they loved this. I played against the bots, and it's fun unless I was cranking up the bots to kind of 4 stars. They're pretty dumb. Like the main stage, it has like all the stages are destructible. A lot of them have different actions. In the main stage, the first stage, there's a train. You hit a button and a train comes out, and if you're standing in front of the train, you get hurt. The AI is too stupid to jump on top of the train, so they want to get like a pellet that has purple sparks in it, but they can't jump up. They don't know to jump up. And it was like, oh my God, these guys are idiots. So you're able to game them just by going on some of the environment. And I was like, oh, this is terrible. Obviously playing against my kids, they kick my butt, so there's no stupidity there. They're way better than I am. But playing single player, if I pump up the difficulty, then the AI is I guess better. They're a lot smarter. They do a lot of things. They just don't go stand in a corner for a bit and wait for their health to recharge. They come at you. They're blocking. They're doing throws. So I've had a lot of fun doing that. Really cool. The one other thing I wanted to mention is the character select screen. I really love it. So the screen shows all the characters and they're all silhouetted. If you play the single player campaign and beat it, you get 20 character coins. And what those are free rentals of any character that you don't own. So if you're someone that has, say, 5 characters, but you really want to play with Ant-Man, you really want to play with Vision, or you really want to play with Loki because you never picked it up from 2.0, by playing single player games, you actually will earn currency that you can then buy plays of any character that you want. Which is great. That's a really amazing thing. If you're connected to the network every time that you log in, every week there's going to be different free characters that you can use as many times as you want. So it's going to be like a rotating way to get people that maybe can't afford to have all 20 plus characters the ability to play with other characters, which is huge. I commend Disney for doing that. That is great. But my favorite thing is you can unlock the characters just by dropping them on your play set or your gamepad rather. So you put them there, they activate in the game, which is great because then you don't ever have to put that character down again for that session of Disney Infinity running on your console. I thought it was forever. I thought this was the best thing. I've been playing for 2 days, putting my system to sleep, waking it up, doing more multiplayer. This is amazing. And then Disney Infinity crashed. And I was like, oh, okay, restart Disney Infinity. All the characters are gone, and I had to take them off the shelf and tap them to get back in. So my hope that it would either read the fact that I've already unlocked all these characters in the game, or that it would permanently unlock them. Unfortunately, isn't the case. I understand that's because they don't want people to go and borrow 15 characters from their friends, unlock them, and then give them back. But for me,
who would do that?
For me, someone that has kids that have broken multiple Skylander figures, I would rather just put them on the gamepad, unlock them, put them back on the shelf, and then the kids can play Battle for 8 hours and no characters will ever get damaged. So unfortunately, that's not a thing. I love the character select screen, though. They did a really good job there. So anyway, those are kind of my thoughts on Battlegrounds. I don't know, James, do you have any other thoughts that you want to add?
Not really. It's short, not counting versus mode, but it is a lot of fun, and I like what they did with the story. Especially the animations before and after. There's a lot of character in those, and I'm glad they included Rocket Raccoon in there as well.
Yeah,
Rocket is a riot, dude.
Oh,
he's funny.
Absolutely.
Ant-Man too.
It's really great because
solid.
As the matches start, there's a little animation and a little catchphrase that every character has, and it's the same when you activate power discs. We didn't talk about power discs. If you put power discs down on your gamepad, they unlock those power discs as random things that will appear potentially in your match. So if you like certain power discs, you can have them down there, and only those ones will ever show up in your match, which is kind of a neat way to do it. If you're playing single player mode or any of the challenges, it'll have random ones based on whichever match you're on. So you can get a good way, or you have a good chance to kind of check them all out and see which ones are great. Maybe that you really like or that you don't like, so you can pull those out of your power disc binders and put them on there. Kind of a really neat way to do that. But anyway, when you activate a power disc, you get a nice little animation. The character is in the foreground, so I don't know, Winter Soldier.
Winter
Soldier's one.
Oh, yeah, he does stay up there and he shoots. But there was one that was really good. I can't remember which one it was, but it's really cool that kind of effect. So there's the before match flavor, there's the after match kind of cheers, and then there's the foreground stuff that happens. So they really took the kind of foreground, background 3D-ness of the stages that you're in and really kind of played with that, which was really kind of cool.
Well, on top of that, they also have their special moves, the R1 attacks, which are actually different in this than in the regular, toy box and stuff.
Yeah.
But when you activate those, it does a short little animation too, like Street Fighter style, where it'll zoom in super close and they'll do like the action pose and shout something out. And that's really cool touch too. So.
Totally agree there. It reminded me so much of like Marvel versus Street Fighter or whatever. You get those nice little vignette type of things happening in an animation. It was really great. They did a good job. Getting all the voice actors back in to record new lines for this was a really nice touch. They didn't have to reuse just stuff that was in the normal game. There's a lot of new dialogue and stuff that's in here. They did a really good job. I don't know, Lem, how about you? What are your overall thoughts that we maybe didn't touch on?
You talked about the power discs, and I wanted to bring up the kind of the Easter egg power disc. The Marvel power disc set. If you have Jack Skellington, you have to get the power disc set because it comes with Ghost Rider's bike, and you put Jack Skellington on the bike, and he turns into Ghost Rider pretty much. His head,
flaming head.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Apparently, it even works with the Sandy Claus costume change. So you can have
really?
A flaming Santa hatted skull riding around on Ghost Rider's bike, which is
it looks awesome. Speaking of Easter eggs, Tad wants us to hint at the fact that there's an Easter egg at the end of Battlegrounds. So, hint, there's an Easter egg at the end of Battlegrounds. That's all we're going to say on it.
Yes.
Right when you
it almost scared me to death.
No,
all right.
didn't.
No, but that's my hint.
When you beat the game, stay after the credits, just like the movies, because there is a nice little cameo at a hopeful future character that we'll be able to put on our gamepad and play with in Marvel Battlegrounds. Cool. All right, Will, is there anything else you want us to cover, or that pretty much does it? I think that's gonna about do it for this episode of the Inside Dimensions podcast, episode number 128. Thanks again to everybody for coming out. James, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at IHI_James, and then we do YouTube videos at iHeartInfinity.
Awesome.
Where else, James?
Oh, and there's something that Lem wants me to mention, but I'll let him mention it.
Oh, okay.
All right, Lem. Could people find more of the Bad Gamer if they want to hunt one out to laugh or other things?
Make fun of, poke at, name animals in Far Cry with. You can find me on the Res TV network. I have several shows there. Mordor Mondays are starting the day off right. You know it can't get worse than living in Mordor than the time of Sauron. So Monday is a good place, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time on Monday. On Tuesday, here on DisneyInfinity.tv, again, Breakfast with the Bad Gamer. Wednesday, I take a break because Will is on. Thursday is also a break day. Friday, here, 7 o'clock in the morning. And then Saturday is the big show. Getting Up with Geeks with Jimbo there.
Yep.
All right. And Seth. We are up early in the morning or late at night for Jim because he's coming off of work. But we talk all things geeky and comic booky. Oh, it's so much fun. It's a great time.
And last week we had a true Daniel on the show, and he was guest spotting. Not me, but another guy
James
who was actually named Daniel. Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Dan Power was on last week.
Very
and then
cool.
Sunday, Bad at Battlefront on Res TV. So they can find me everywhere.
Lem's got your whole week covered here on Res TV and the Inside Infinity podcast. Apparently, I called the show Inside Dimensions because I also host that show. I'll let you guys know where you can find me. I'm over at res.tv. I run I kind of run the back end of that site, and I host some of the shows on that network that we're all members of. Inside Dimensions is one of the shows we do, but there's also D-Res. Will and I recorded an episode of D-Res right before this, talking about PlayStation VR, talking about The Division, which is a game that we're both addicted to. You can find all that over at res.tv. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Dasme on Twitter, DASME on Twitter. So yeah, that's going to about do it for this episode of Inside Infinity, episode number 128. So thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks to the chat room. It was awesome chatting with you. If you weren't there, I would know that I said Inside Dimensions. So thank you for that as well, Tad and crew. All right, Will, I don't know how to end this. You always do something that you do it by heart, so I don't even know. So that's it, everybody. Take it easy. See you next time.
We hope you